Barcelona are securing the future by signing and extending these two players, who is Dani Rodriguez and Marc Bernal, for a further 2 to 3 years at the very least. So many of us should be very excited for what's to come in the very near future. All of this is going to be talked about for today's video. If you guys are Barcelona fans, this will be the channel for you, where we do talk about everything regarding FC Barcelona. And so if that thing is for you, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And if you guys do like this video, click the thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. So let's first talk about Marc Bernal. And it says here that Barcelona have summoned the 17-year-old Marc Bernal to begin pre-season with the first team under Hansi Flick's order. He will report to the training camp on July 10th for medical checks. And before that, he'll even sign a new contract in the presence of Joan Laporta, a deal that is agreed from weeks ago. He will renew for 2 years, extending to 2026 with an option for 3 more years. His release clause is set at 20 million euros. Isn't that insane? It's 20 million euros. It's not 15, it's not 18, it's 20 million euros. The reason why this is a big deal is because this is exactly what I talked about before. The reason why a player like Marc Gui was not sold for that much, and we could not sell the player for more than 10 million euros, is because Marc Gui never renewed his contract with Barcelona. With Marc Bernal, he did. And so if Barcelona want to sell him in the near future, within these next 6 to 7 weeks during the transfer window, they can sell him for 20 million euros. And once again, that is because he renewed. And I'm not saying that Barcelona are going to be selling the player. It's just that if the player does decide to go somewhere else, or if Barcelona just say, you know what, you're a great player, but we want to move forward with a different prospect, they can easily sell him for that amount, which is really good business. If Barcelona end up selling the player for around that range, it's going to put him up there with one of the biggest, most expensive academy signings in recent years. Recently, Nathan Ake moved from Chelsea to Bournemouth for 23 million euros. Moriba moved from Barcelona to RB Leipzig for around 16 million euros. Sancho moved from Man City to Borussia Dortmund for 80 million euros. So 20 million euros is a lot of money. It's really good business coming from Joan Laporta and the rest of the financial staff. So if you guys do not know who Marc Bernal is, he is a central defensive midfielder. Sometimes he does play as an 8, like I would say rarely, maybe about 5 to 10% through the season he does play within the realms of a number 8 player, but 99% of the time he is a defensive midfielder. And this guy has been progressing through the academy in a very good way. He's one of the top quality midfielders that La Masia have to present. Bernal was playing in Cadet B, which was the under 15 team, and he was playing with Kobarsi Cueca throughout the 2021-2022 season. And in that season, he scored 11 goals in 28 matches. So he does have some sort of experience on what it's like to play with Kobarsi. Fast forward to the 2022-2023 season, he went to Cadet A, which is the under 16 team, and he scored 12 goals. And there he played with Natali, Gulli, and other players. Fast forward to the 2023-2024 season, he skipped Juvenile B and Juvenile A, and he went straight to Barça Athletic. Why? That is because the sporting staff saw that he was too good, and he skipped 2 total stages to get to that position on where he is at right now. And he completed the entire season under the guidance of Rafa Marquez. And at the age of just 16 years old, for him to be able to do this and play at Barça Athletic, it's fascinating because most of the players that he was playing against were 6 years older than him. And so he was truly tested, and he passed the test. He cemented himself as the main defensive midfielder at the age of 17 years old. Now, he played 36 games throughout the season, scoring 2 goals and providing 6 assists. He even gave out that amazing assist to Marc Gui that led towards Barcelona go on a 2-1 lead. Rafa Marquez also had a few things to say about Casado, another defensive midfielder that is coming through the academy, and Marc Bernal. And so this is what Rafa Marquez did state about their continuity. They are players who have had an important progression, who have evolved. They feel the colors of the club. They are the reference today for La Masia, so they deserve it well. So there is so many young DMs rising. Looking at Casado and how he just signed a contract renewal, same thing with Marc Bernal, and how he's going to be having first team progression under Hansi Flick. There's 2 total central defensive midfielders that we have to look out for, and that's very exciting because I think that this does change the sporting plan for Hansi Flick, because if these 2 defensive midfielders do well, which is again Casado and Marc Bernal, I think that if Barcelona were to sign a defensive midfielder this summer, they have to go for a player that's in the high 20s to early 30s, somebody who is within the realms of 28, 29, 30, 31 years old. I believe this is the reason why Joshua Kimmich is being eyed on so much, is because it is what's going to allow us to gracefully transition to our next defensive midfielder in the future. The other player that I do want to speak about is going to be Dani Rodriguez, and it says here, according to Tony Juan Marti, that Barcelona is set to renew the contract of the 18-year-old Dani Rodriguez despite attracting interest from many other clubs like Spurs, Sociedad, Athletic Bilbao. An agreement has been reached between all parties, and the green light from the player has already arrived. So if you guys do not know who Dani Rodriguez is, he is a 18-year-old left winger and right winger. Currently, he does represent Barça Athletic, and he moved from the under 19 team to Barca Athletic on June 1st, 2024. So it was very recent, and his contract was going to end this summer. Like, he was going to be a free agent, but Barcelona did not want to lose on the player because of how well he did with Barca Athletic, and that is why they were able to achieve the renewal of the player. Back on February 7th, 2024, Dani Rodriguez scored a sensational solo goal for Barcelona in the UEFA Youth Leagues, and in total, with 20 matches played, he scored 4 goals and provided 5 assists. Sometimes he was called up to train with the first team, and he did impress. And so for sure, I do see him having continuity with Barca Athletic. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be in the first team or see like past 400 minutes with the first team, but if Barca Athletic are going to be going through massive changes, seeing how Casado is going to be going to the first team, Hector Fort also, Marc is also going to go to Chelsea, Barcelona is going to be a much different team, and I think that that different team needs to contain Dani Rodriguez. They were also so close on achieving promotion recently, and they could not do that. And Barcelona Athletic needs to continue to be competitive. Dani Rodriguez can give you exactly that with his goals and assists. So he has yet to make his first team debut, and I believe that Hansi Flick might give him a chance during the preseason. I don't necessarily know how he's going to be implemented, because unless he has star performances like against City or AC Milan or Real Madrid, I see this player in the next season and in the preseason seeing very little minutes. But we'll see what he does against Madrid, AC Milan, and Man City if Hansi Flick gives him those chances. Moving on towards the next conversation, and let's speak about Sergino Dest, because Barcelona have just sold Sergino Dest to PSV, not for 10 million euros, not for 5 million euros, not for 3 million euros, not even, my friends, for €1. Sergino Dest left FC Barcelona for free after they paid 22 million euros 4 years ago. Yes, you guys heard that right. We have sold Sergino Dest for free. Barcelona will not receive any money for this transfer, and the only thing the club have announced is that if Dest does leave PSV for a future sale, Barcelona do have a percentage on that sale. And I just cannot believe that Barcelona have let go of Dest for free. But I'm going to be explaining why everybody took this decision. Dest did sign with PSV until 2028. He did have a very successful run with PSV, playing 37 matches and scoring 2 goals and 7 assists. And as a left back, he was claimed as 4th in the league in terms of successful take-ons and progressive carries. But unfortunately, once April 20th came in, he encountered a ligament tear, and it is going to take him out until January 1st, 2025, meaning that PSV have signed a player that will not even be back until the next year. And so PSV signed a player where they don't even know if he's going to come back the same. And that was their argument. They were like, okay, we'll keep Dest before free because we don't even know if he's going to return back to his best form, like what we saw in the previous season. And then Barcelona's argument was, but we paid 22 million euros and we're going to get nothing in return. But in the end, PSV and Barcelona both came to an agreement. And I think that PSV trusted him so much that they were willing to gamble on the player. And Barcelona just said, okay, you know what? If we're not going to get anything, at least, right, at the very least, his wages are going to be off the books. And I think that we kind of have to be very grateful about this whole decision, even though we let him go for free. Just really think about it, right? What club would sign a player that is going through an ACL injury? Like, what club? Nobody. But PSV did. And PSV, if anything, did Barcelona a favor by saying, we'll take him off your wage bill. And Barcelona will benefit off of that by decreasing the wage bill down by 6 million euros gross. And that is definitely going to help the 1-1 rule. Now, we can have other conversations about whether Dest could have blossomed at Barcelona, but I don't think so. I think that Jules Koundé is just at a whole other different level. There is no reason for him to ever be considered as a alternative to Dest. There's just no way. Koundé defensively is just a world-class player. Nobody, but I mean nobody, can replace Jules Koundé right now. And if Jules Koundé ever does get injured, or whether he just needs to shift to the center back position, we have Hector Fort and Joao Cancelo, a player that Barcelona do want to maintain. So I do wish Dest a lot of luck. I also do want to thank him for his services, and I hope that he continues to progress in his career even after the ACL injury. So that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.